look here. Look at us.
Oh, us?
Us,
Okay.
us. Not just look at me. Here, all. I can still see faces who are just looking at the mobiles. Only me, all right, Rupenji, please, continue. Okay, are you all with me? Okay, I'm trying to do something now, okay? I'm not going to make you all rise up because you all had a very good lunch and I'm sure you all are going to sleep. I am very sure you are going to sleep.
Yeah,
No?
tonight.
Okay, so let's do one thing. Everybody sit straight. Sit straight, huh? Sit straight. Keep
30
your back erect. Go back. Yeah. Oh, whoever has a back, please go straight and sit. Okay. Keep your mobiles aside. Close your eyes.
And please wake up as well.
No, just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Unless I tell you, please do not open your eyes. We're trying to do something. Not at all.
We will still be here.
Yeah. Everyone, close your eyes. Oh, you'll have to close your eyes. Yeah. Everybody just think of us. MSME, MSME, MSME. That's it. Yeah. संजय जी थोड़ा सो जाओ.
Rupenji, Jennifer Lopez plus MSME could be miss me.
Yeah. No, I have still not told anyone to open their eyes. All right, please open your eyes.
Yep.
I'm still there. I didn't say that. So what is this called?
Power nap.
You know what I'll call? He says as power nap. You know what I'll call? Official nap. Correct? Kya hai, when we'll come and talk, you never know, people would be just dozing off to sleep. So we thought we'll give you all an official time to take a nap. Was that good? Yeah. Did you all get a good relaxation? I hope you're going to listen to the next speaker over here.
Yep.
All right, Arunji, please.
So far we've been listening to people telling us how to scale up our business, grow our business. Then Ajay ji told us how to utilize the stock market and make more money. After we make all this money, what happens? I don't know.
Spend.
So there are two things that normally happen. Getting too much money also makes you conservative, and you start thinking how to conserve the wealth, how do you manage the wealth, and also how do you make sure that this wealth is available to the next generation. So these are again topics that are important to be discussed. And our next speaker, Kedar, is a master at that. He's from Anand Rathi. And his detailed introduction will be done by Rajesh Bhai.
So first of all, I like to thank Anand Rathi on a single hour just call. He says that I'll be a part of a platinum sponsor for this event. So round of applause to Anand Rathi, and he keep faith on us that this event will be a very eventful year. And being a first event, we were also of the opinion that how we will complete, but the crowd that we are seeing, so it is like very much satisfying. So Kedar that I just introduced, he knows me since last 5-10 years, and he's a very good friend of mine, an MBA, managing a lot of family, around 1200 crores worth of management under his perspective about the team that he's handling under Anand Rathi. He is with her colleague Janvi. She will introduce the company Anand Rathi Wealth. I know the company shares 1.5 years before just came out for 350 rupees. It is now quoting at 2,500 rupees. So the power of wealth that already been told, but now that wealth has been created and how that wealth will be managed on a regular basis. So some of the things that we will learn from Kedar. He has a wide network of the investors and the families with him across India and outside India. And he has been this company since last 19 years, and a lot of things that we want to hear from you. So rather to hear from me, I like to first introduce Janvi to introduce Anandrati Wealth, and then Kedar about the wealth management. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everybody. Yeah. So just I'll quickly first introduce you all to the company. Right? We started the company back in 2002, where Mr. Anand Rathi and our MD, Mr. Amit Rathi, they both of them started with the company. As an organization, we are currently managing assets close to 52,000 crores across 9,600 families globally. We have our presence across 11 different locations with one international location in Dubai. Right? Like Mr. Rajesh Shah mentioned that we got listed back in December 2021, and today we have a market cap of around 11,000 odd crores. Right? So, thank you. Right? We did start off as a micro cap company, and if you see the growth path that we have seen over the last 7 to 8 years, as a company, we have been growing at a CAGR of around 20 to 25%. Right? So today, in this, this 10-15 minute window that we have, we would like to take you all through certain critical aspects of wealth management and how, we have been successfully managing portfolios across for these 9,600 families. Right, so I would invite Mr. Kedar Bhatt to take us through the discussion.
Good afternoon. Am I audible? All corners? Yeah. So, tough task post-lunch, but I think she's helped me create an environment where she's given you a power nap or an official nap, how they say. So once again, good afternoon to everybody. And I have my dear friend, Mr. Rajesh Shah here, who's given us an opportunity. We are very glad, thankful to all the organizers for conducting a lovely meeting here. I think the venue is super great, the food is great. And I have to also pay my regards to Mr. Barve. He's been my mentor for the last 10 years now, over 10 years, right, sir? So he's been always guiding me. He's a joint managing director of Blue Cross, and we've been associated through our professional personal network. Through him, I have been inspired so many times that I've actually now joined Rotary. I'm a part of Rotary Club of Bombay Northwest, the same club where my parents have been members since 1993. Okay, quickly cutting short on the introduction, I have only 10 to 15 minutes here. So I'm not going to really spend too much time around today on all the core objectives of wealth management. I'm just trying to divert your attention slightly towards your own businesses of what MSME as a sector looks like for India, and what as entrepreneurs you should be looking at for the next unfolding of the 5 years in the economy. So when we look at these numbers, MSME actually as a sector has attracted a lot of attention from domestic and foreign institutional investors. In the last 5 years, it's been very dramatic. I don't know how many people have been tracking, but the FII participation in the Indian economy has not been now only reserved to the giant large cap companies. It's coming more towards mid caps and small caps. The numbers are yet to come, but I'll just speak about a number, what has been published. FIIs in such an uncertain global environment last year have invested $28 billion in India. And out of that, $20 billion went in equities. Those $20 billion, we are yet to get the numbers. That's what I was just talking about. How much have gone into mid caps and small caps, we are yet to figure out, but the presence has been very wide scale. To draw your attention, what's happened to this industry in the last 5 years, if you look at the smallest company in the small cap sector, the largest small cap company in the sector was valued at 8,500 crores. The valuation today is 22,000 crores. That's Imami. And if you look at one of the largest mid-cap companies, has grown at a CAGR of 14%, 29,000 crores of market cap is at 64,000 market cap, 64,000 crores. So this is the scale of business. This is the scale of growth which the MSME sector is attracting. I would just try to tell you that the next 5 years, if we were to actually look at and consider the serious target of $5 trillion economy, the growth is not going to get restricted only to large caps like Reliance and Tata's. It is going to be very wide scale. That's the unfolding that we have been seeing, witnessing in the last 5-10 years when we interact with our clients who are into their small businesses and the kind of money that they have generated. So all we completely bottom down, how we explained is towards money, right? There is money generation which is happening in the company and in the promoter's hand. So there is a very, very upbeat need to actually look at the whole business in a very renovated way. So the traditional approaches might not really work so well going forward when we talk about the next 5-10 years. And why would I say this? So when we look at the traditional approaches in terms of managing monies, a promoter generates monies out of his own business. We always say that the traditional approach is that go to your parents for all your advice. I would say don't go to your parents for the investment advices, because whatever was relevant in the last 30 years is actually completely become redundant. So the older methods of managing wealth, like driving your decisions when there is liquidity, taking impromptu calls of where to invest your monies, सबसे easy इलाज है buy gold or buy real estate. That's the only solution that all our ancestors had. Buying products. Suddenly when you have cash flow in your accounts, you might end up buying any impromptu ideas which a banker or any advisor comes and sells it to you. Last one is personal lending, which has been the most favorite with all the MSMEs and mid-sized entrepreneurs, but we've seen the number of defaults that has happened. So what we are just trying to share our opinion around, saying that what is the evolved way of actually looking at wealth management or wealth objective in your personal stride from a point of view of next 5 years. So why should we not focus on the overall balance sheet rather than taking the old method? Focus on the balance sheet, define your objectives. What are your objectives? What do you want to drive with your money? What do you want to do with your money when there is value creation that's happening in business? What do you want to do? Risk return trade-off. You measure your risk and then you keep your returns. Both numbers should be finalized. We should not speak English around risk saying low, medium and high. That's where it becomes very complicated. If you were to define risk as a number and return as a number, it becomes a very straightforward, simple process. I'm not taking more time there today. Process-driven approach, and because of which leading to efficient portfolios. So we followed this in the last 10 years, 12 years of our graduating as a micro cap company, how Janvi was explaining, going into a mid-size small cap and then a small cap company we are valued at 11,000 crores of market cap today. How did it all happen? It all happened just by following these steps for our clients. Following wealth objectives. Now I'm just trying to simplify because wealth objectives could be very varied for each individual. If I were to just focus on what could be the primary wealth objective for most of our clients, and we've learned from them, the first and foremost two objectives, that is beating inflation and limiting taxation, is all about value creation. We are talking about money. What is the kind of return target that somebody would be happy with? So a 14-15% number yearly is something that we would drive at a balance sheet level. Now, why am I talking about a 14-15% number on your personal balance sheets? Because the inflation in India for families like your and mine is not what the CPI number that the government releases. It is ideally 3 or 4% higher from the government inflation number because of our choice of our lifestyles. We don't spend 50% of our income on fuel of what we earn. We don't spend 50% of our income on food from what we are earning. So there are different objectives that we have as families, sending children for abroad education, buying residential real estate in India and abroad, looking for the best healthcare facilities. I'm just giving you examples. All of those places, the inflation is in the range of 9 to 10% for the last 30 years. So if we were to earn anything less than 10 or 11%, we are actually degrowing our money. So we are paying a lot of emphasis on targeting inflation-adjusted returns on your portfolio. The second is limiting taxation. We are not going to show you any kind of illegal methods to save taxes. There are logical ways, there are legitimate ways of how you can reduce your taxation. We are not going to talk on these two subjects. Thank you to Mr. Rajesh Shah. He said that the most important matter for my crowd today is of the kind of value creation that they are going to do in your business. How are you going to protect those monies? We just spoke that the next 5 years, 10 years, the business is going to grow. We will see a lot of interest from the domestic and foreign institutional investors, which means there will be money that will be created. The idea is, how do you really protect it? Most important topic. Not about value creation, how to invest, where to invest, not talking about that, not talking about taxation, but talking about safety nets and estate planning. What does it actually mean? So when we talk about protection, that the money, that hard-earned money that you all have created over a lifetime, how do you really protect it against so many known and unknown risks? So a simple subject which comes is safety net. If you look at protection, need for safety net. Now what does safety net mean? Safety net is actually very different for each age bracket. Somebody who is starting very fresh is in the age bracket of 25 to 35. Their safety nets are nothing but for them, it means that I would want to try and take care of my health insurance. If suddenly something happens to me, then my family should be well taken care of. My basic needs are under requirement, are under question. So in the age group of 25 to 35, such a safety net would make more sense. But when we are focusing on an age group like this, people who have created wealth for themselves through their businesses or are at a juncture where they are in the age group of 45, 50, 55, I usually address, we as a company usually address this segment. And what does it mean? These guys are CEOs of business, are entrepreneurs themselves, are chairmen of housing societies. They are dealing with various of these aspects. And why does this need protection? Because all of these that I spoke about, if you look at the business risk, professional risk, family disputes is something that I'll speak about, but primarily talking about business risk and professional risk, I am actually exposed to risk where my personal assets, personal wealth that I have created over a lifetime can actually get attached to these legal disputes between businesses and professional risk. How do I try and safeguard myself against this? Is there a mechanism? Yes, there is a mechanism. Whatever you invest under a PPF or whatever you invest under a Married Women Property Act under insurance, those are safeguarded against any kind of business risk or defaults that my personal business goes through. So is there a way other than this PPF and Married Women Property Act, because PPF has a limitation of 1,50,000 of investments each year. I'm sure we are talking about big monies. So there is a mechanism called a private trust, a private family trust, by which I can safeguard my personal assets. I can draw a line between my business risk and my personal assets. Family disputes is again one subject which I think everybody has been experiencing in their lifetime. We have very modern complex family structures which we are developing, and what we always used to listen only to US and Europe. Those controversies we see in India. Separations happening at an age of 50, married daughter actually getting separated, and then the in-laws claiming assets from the generational wealth. So how do you try and create a divide? So I am just going to highlight that to address these matters, private trust is something which is a solution. Not going too much in technical details today of how the private trust can help you. I am happy to take any questions quickly at the end of this. So in any unforeseen situations, a purpose of a trust is nothing but to efficiently look at transferring or transition of wealth from one generation to the other to avoid any family disputes related to inheritance. So we all have heard about will, but will is something that gets executed after someone's lifetime. Whereas a private trust is a vehicle which lets you do the bequeathal or the division of your wealth during your lifetime. So you can see what's going to happen after your lifetime. A trust gives you a provision for that. How do you efficiently let your wealth being managed? Once the wealth gets distributed to multiple people in the family after your lifetime, the objective could be missed. Everybody is not a finance person, right? It could not be their background, it could not be their interest. So you need to see to it that the family's interests are well taken care of after your lifetime, and how can it be managed in a certain methodological way. So a private trust gives you a platform for that. Last one is, in 1984, we saw that there were estate duties in India and they were abolished. So there were intergenerational transfers, wealth which was taxed, which we didn't see after 1984, but there is a very high likely chances that this can get reintroduced, and there are multiple articles if you Google on inheritance tax to be reintroduced in India. You will see that the government has been discussing about it a lot of times, and it's going to impact a very less number of population because it will have a certain threshold of monies. So it's not going to impact the larger part of the population. So it's very easy for the government to reintroduce these duties. How do you try and safeguard yourself? If your children are settled abroad, in US or Europe, then they are exposed to the global inheritance. If in India, the inheritance tax laws are reintroduced, the monies are again exposed. How do you try and safeguard the next generation by transferring monies into a trust is something that can be discussed. Last one is level playing field for NRIs. What do we mean by this? That the NRIs, children are NRIs, or one of you decide to become NRI in future, for y'all the rules of investments into India, into the country are very different. So how can I make it a level playing field for most of you guys who are NRIs to actually invest into India, into a business or into any investment asset classes? It could be anything, real estate, mutual funds, PMS, it could be anything. So a private trust is also helpful in creating, in creating a platform for the NRIs. This is what we were talking about, the need for estate planning. Now comes the most important and the last subject of my discussion today, which is transmission. So we spoke about how do you protect your wealth that you generated, how do you try and see that it gets transferred to the next generation without having any losses. But the most simplest thing, which I think all of us were aware, private trust, I don't know how many of you all were aware of before we spoke today. Any hands up? Private trust, people were aware? Yeah, so I can see 8 or 10 hands being raised. So private trust is a subject which is less known. But if I have to ask about anybody here, that do you understand will? That somebody can create a will in their lifetime, how many of you all are aware of this? Like, see, we see maximum hands being raised. But if I were to ask you a question that actually how many of you all have executed a will, or how many of you all have made a will, I only see, still very, very less numbers. So we all consider ourselves young, and I have my doubts always on that we are too young to create a transmission process or have a will in place. But not having a will in place, let's just look at the other flip side. Advantages, I think everybody is aware. Let's look at the disadvantage. If you don't have a will and somebody dies intestate, so as per the Hindu succession law, if somebody does not have a will and a male member Hindu passes away, the wealth gets passed on equally between wife, mother and children, which maybe not be as per his will. He might have not really planned for this, not saying that he hates his mother or his father or anyone, but I'm sure that he might have had a different plan. Similar, if you look at in a Christian family, in a Muslim family, there are different laws which takes over if you don't have a will in place. So we will share these slides, so you all can take it, no need to take pictures, we'll share this later on. But the idea here to highlight is that the disadvantages of not having a will, irrespective of the complications it creates, the money gets distributed to certain family members in a defined law as per your religion. I'm sure everybody is not wanting to do this way of division of their wealth after their lifetime. So if you look at some startling numbers, and these are crazy, there are 26,000 crores which are lying in unclaimed in provident fund accounts because there is no nomination, there is no will being made. So the money is lost in transit. This is data from Economic Times. Anand Rathi is not promoting any of this data point. So just to tell you all, 18,381 crores lying unclaimed in bank accounts. And look at, just look at these numbers, 82,000 crores unclaimed, forgotten, lost in mutual funds, bank accounts, insurance, FDs, PPFs. Can you all just realize the number which it will explode in the next 5 years and 10 years? Because the real wealth creation in India has happened in the last 10-15 years. You will see a lot of millionaires and billionaires around. We never heard about these stories earlier. So if you were to look at these numbers, this just gives you a perspective saying what can happen and what is the transmission loss that we are talking about. What is the easiest way to deal with this is a few key takeaways. Just create nominations across all your investments where it's well synchronized. So as a wealth management objective, we just don't focus on where you should invest, but also look at these hygiene checks. Where should you explore to mitigate the risk of estate duty, which we just spoke that how can you create a private trust? Should we not safeguard our personal assets against business risk so that y'all can actually take as many risks as you want in the business, but also be prepared for a rainy day? What if the hard money is not available when you need the most? I'm sure everybody understands this, but there is a thought process that we need to put of how do we implement. Have you created a robust plan, estate plan, what we call as estate planning or succession planning for transmission of assets, so that my legal heir is able to enjoy my own hard-earned money and somewhere is not lost in transit in these multiple things. So this is a very serious thing. Are we contributing to this? So if we don't have a will in place, we are contributing to this. Our numbers also will get added up to these data. So I think I would leave the audience with this thought process, saying that why there is a requirement for a ring fencing safety net around your business, and why is it required to actually have a transmission of your assets through a proper will programmed and a very simple document, right? We have an in-house team which is helping our clients do this so that we don't share data outside, we don't involve any outside lawyers or any firms. We don't charge our clients to create this private trust and wills because we feel that this is the most basic hygiene that my CEO felt that we could do for our clients. I'm happy to take any question and answers on the subject. Quickly, we might have, what, 5 minutes, sir? Oh, sorry. So just 2 minutes, anything if I can address, or my colleague, Ms. Janvi Shah, she's here. My colleagues, Aishwarya Kamath, Sachi Jain, they are also at the counter. Any queries that you all have related to what we just spoke, happy to address. I'm around. Please yeah, sure.
Can you define the private trust?
So, private trust, sir, is a very complex word which seems very, a jargon. Private trust is nothing, it's a very simple vehicle that I'm creating to divide my personal assets, moving my monies from my left pocket to my right pocket so that the monies which are parked under private trust, they don't no longer belong to me or my family members directly. So anybody who's creating a private trust with any non-malified intentions will be able to distinguish between their personal assets and the assets which are parked in the trust. So when there is a business risk or there is a liability or there are any litigations, the monies which are parked in the private trust, which was created with all due good intentions, can be really kept aside. So it's available for the rainy day and the business risk do not get attached here. But the structure of the private trust and all, we can take offline of who is the settler, who are the beneficiaries, how does the family really, enjoy the benefits of this private trust. Yeah. So see, gift deed and will, these both are a complete different subject altogether. Gift deed is something very temporary that you're creating on a certain asset class. You can't create a gift deed on your entire estate. Whatever you're going to transfer to your legal heir, you can't create a gift deed. That just happens out of natural process, legal process. So will is a simple document which can be registered, which we insist that we register, and it just gives your intention, saying that this is how I would want to transfer assets after my lifetime. A gift deed can't be done after your lifetime. So gift deed is something that you will have to do while you are alive. So you can't really gift out everything while you're alive. We all know of where we would be standing then. Yeah.
Thanks, Kedar.
Yeah,
We
so-
already, please, can we
There-
have it written?
They
Please,
have a
due
stall.
respect.
They have a stall right outside, stall
Yeah,
number
yeah.
2.
Please,
so I'll
please.
suggest you can spend more time,
Yes.
get your queries answered
With
from
due
it.
respect to all of you all, please
Sorry,
don't
I'm
mind.
sorry about this. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kedar.
Thank you, sir. Please,
Thanks.
please.
I have just one small comment. I think Rajesh ji will help
I
us
have a
out.
question for both of you.
Question, yeah. It's a very, that is the question when I saw everybody suddenly perk up.
Okay. Yeah.
How do we get our hands on that 18,000 unclaimed deposits?
Very simple. I mean, that's what the whole presentation was about. Yeah.
So I guess everybody suddenly till that time, will, okay, it will happen after we die. 18,000 crores.
Yes, Aman.
Oh, 5 company names where we can
So that is
invest.
chargeable at stall number 2.
That is going to be chargeable. Yes, yes.
No, sure,
yes.
sir. We'll take these questions. I am sure that's our basic dal roti. And
Yeah.
this is what something that I wanted to take care of as a subject today, because I think there are a lot of entrepreneurs where I see where there are millionaires who will be churning out in the next 5 years, 10 years, and there is an important need to protect that money.
No, sure.
So we'll
was a
speak about
topic-
value creation.
It was a topic which was
Yeah.
very well
Thank you.
received.
Thank you.
I'll just request you to stay on stage. Rajesh ji, Hemang ji, Naresh ji, could you please come and felicitate the speaker?
To earn and save the wealth, you all can all approach Anand Rathi's stall, which is outside.
Thank you, Rajesh bhai. Thank you. Yeah.
A big round of
Thank you.
applause is
Thank
required.
you.
Can we all do that?
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Naresh bhai. Yeah.
Thanks for your support and
Yeah.
keep
One
supporting.
second. Janvi, come.
Please come.
Keep supporting us and
Yeah.
keep helping us. Come. This-
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kedar.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Janvi.
Yeah, of course.